in pixel mazes. Fingers dance, electric craze. You win, you lose, the screen displays. Retro Legends Arcade, where heroes are made. Insert your coin, don't be afraid. Retro Legends Arcade. Pinball clatters, jackpot rings, 8-bit worlds where power springs. Twitches hum, the chaos sings, forever young on timeless wings. Press start to play, the night won't decay. Retro Legends Arcade, where heroes are made. Insert your coin, don't be afraid. Retro Legends Arcade. Retro Legends Arcade. Retro Legends Arcade.
Welcome to the Retro Legends Arcade. Good to see everyone here. We got new games live. Retro Legends Arcade is not only a weekly show, but it is a weekly leaderboard system. Let me put this up here. And every week we play games, have fun. Many of us compete in the AtGames tournaments as well. And let me give some shout outs to some people that are here live. Mikey, Wingo, Bliss2121, thanks for watching. And let's take a look at our scores from the past week. Let me pull this up real quick. Let's see. We had some great games. We'll start with Pinball. We had was that Z01D4 was number 1 in Pinball. Good job. We have Ballydern, Jay, Bliss2121, Wingo, and me. Didn't get much of an opportunity to play this. I got kind of stuck playing Flipper Friends for most of the time. Did love playing the Star Wars Classic Collectibles table. We had Bliss2121, Jay, me, Lord Donkey Balls, and the winner was Ballydern. Congratulations, Ballydern. Well played. Then we had the 3 Flipper Friends tables this week. And we had some sick competition this week. Very competitive. We had Jay, T. McCloskey, Ballydern, Wingo, me, and Sacro for the win. We had Moonflight with Jay, Ballydern, T. McCloskey, Wingo, me, and Sacro. Then we had Zaccaria Remake, Bliss2121, Jay, T. McCloskey, Wingo, me, Ballydern, and Sacro. We played the arcade game Junior Pac-Man. T. McCloskey put in a score, and I took that one. So those were the games we played this week. What's happening, people? Happy Friday. New games have opened up. I'll just go to those real quick, and then I can shut this out of my stream here so it's not taking up memory. We have new games this week. Let me scroll this over. Dun, dun, dun. Star Wars Pinball. We're playing Droids. Shooting the Rapids Deluxe, Supersonic, Circus Remake, and the classic arcade game Double Dragon. We're going to talk a little bit about Double Dragon on this show. So, that being said, let me remove that. Hey, we got Wingo here. Wingo, I gave you a wrench. Congratulations, sir. You have been knighted. We now have a wrench. And we'll take a look at the games that are going to release this week. I got a short video. It's going to show you all the games. It's got some cool clips too of the games that are going to be in this week's tournament for Flipper Friends. So let's check out this week's games on the Retro Legends Arcade, and here they come. This week in the Retro Legends Arcade, we're playing Star Wars Pinball Droids. Fantastic game. In the Star Wars universe, you've got C3PO, R2-D2, Jawas. I'll definitely be playing this in VR using my X Arcade with the haptics kit. But you can play this on any platform. So our Star Wars table for this week will be Droids. Come drop a score on our leaderboards. These are the droids you're looking for. Also this week we'll be playing the 3 games in the AtGames Flipper Friends competition. Circus 2017.
Mystery lane is lit.
Supersonic. Great classic pinball games. Definitely get to use all his bag of tricks. And the more modern game, Shooting the Rapids Deluxe. So 3 great games. They also are in Flipper Friends. Season 2, Week 6 of Flipper Friends is active now. It's free. Come join us. Play some AtGames Pinball.
Hey guys, it's Roy Mason with my very first game review of Double Dragon on II Arcade. This game was first released through Technos Japan in 1987, distributed through Taito. Double Dragon was a game that was always pretty important to me as a kid. It was something that I remember because I could play the game through the entire game on 1/4, which was
because I am cheap, of course.
Which was pretty good because that made it cheap. But kids were literally lined out the door, lining up to play this particular game. So let's take a look at the iArcade version of Double Dragon. This game was such a big game changer for beat-em-ups that had already been released, like Kung Fu Master and Shinobi, that had been released around that same time period. But this changed fighting games going forward. The sound is just as I remember it as well, and the II Arcade 1.21 gigawatts gives the rumble that I remember hearing in the arcade.
1.21 gigawatts!
And one of the big parts of Double Dragon for me was always the responsiveness of the controls. If I played a machine, the joystick had to work right, the button combinations had to not stick, and the II Arcade team does not disappoint with this. And the fact that they were able to restore the original punch, jump, kick button configuration at our request.
And a quick update there, I have the original Sanwa clones and the original 64 gig iArcade original issue, and I played quite a bit on those games, especially on the Double Dragon, and given those sticks a pretty good beating, and they're still very, very responsive.
The only criticisms that I would have of the game is that there is no global leaderboard yet.
And what a huge difference a year makes. We now have, of course, online leaderboards and have for a while. I still like them even though I'm not, at the top tier anymore, but that's okay. And so we have that. And there is a possible rumor, not definite, that Double Dragon could be one of the first games in the iArcade to get online play.
Now, some people have criticized that the game still has a significant lag. Now, I'm going to counter those people because honestly, the lag is part of the game. It's part of the technology of the day. That's the way it was when we played it.
And we liked it. We loved it.
And eventually they were able to correct that in Double Dragon 2, which moves much faster, but it's part of the game. And removing that lag to me is like taking the pops and the cracks out of vinyl. It was part of the recording. It was part of the time, or what I would say as history. Some people get a little hung up at the bridge. Basically hit the abobo either side with elbows, isolate him on the bridge, and then slide down directly and block the kick.
Block the knight.
Also, less elbows means more points. So use the elbow if you want to get to the end, but if you want points, use the kick more. With the roundhouse kick will work a little bit better to rack up more points.
And just to expand on that, the elbow, by some people who play the game quite a bit, is kind of considered an easy way out, an easy way to get through the game. That's how I was always able to get through on one quarter, was pretty much using the elbow, because I wasn't playing for points. Since the iArcade come on, I've taken a look more at what gets a higher point total. So I've been working more towards using the roundhouse kick in a variety of different. The hair pulls don't get as much points, and neither does the elbow, but it does get you through the game. And especially if you are really down in your power and you want to get through, to get the refresh on your power to get through an end stage, definitely use the elbow to get yourself there, and then start using any extra power that you might have at the end to rack up more points.
To be conscious of what our kids see, the beginning is a little brutal, a little bit more than we want to see of Marion.
Other than that, the violence is pretty much PG-13, so pretty tame for the most part. Overall, the game works pretty well on the iArcade, and it's a winner for me. So thanks, John Shin, for bringing this game. And of course, the best news yet is that it's standard with every version of the iArcade.
And of course, Double Dragon was just the first game of the Double Dragon series to hit the arcades. And then I remember when Double Dragon first came out, I saw it in Niagara Falls, Ontario. I thought, this is going to be the greatest game ever, Double Dragon 2. And it was okay. You know, I just couldn't. They took away my elbow. They changed all the fighting styles. They changed the controls. Because everything, as I mentioned earlier, was always about controls and how responsive the controls were, and it just kind of disoriented me, and I went on to other games and never really played it. So one of the great things about the iArcade for me has been a chance to revisit Double Dragon 2 and be able to get used to it, because I have unlimited quarters, so I was able to get used to the controls, and it's a lot of fun. Then of course Double Dragon 3 came out, and that was, I honestly didn't even know it came out, never really saw it, didn't even know it really existed, saw it a few years later. Just was not the same gameplay. If you liked Nintendo or NES's version of Double Dragon, I feel like Double Dragon 3 plays more like that. The moves are just not fluid, just not the same game, different design team. But if you play Combat Tribes is the true sequel to Double Dragon. It has a lot of the same moves, the same design team, and so it's definitely something that is worth playing if you really like the original Double Dragon game. So I highly recommend the Combat Tribes. And have a good one.
There you go. That's this week's games. We got some pretty awesome games. I love Combat Tribes. I mean, Combat Tribes, you know, once I played that, I was like, yeah. Unfortunately, Combat Tribes, there's no scoring. It's just to get through the game. but Double Dragon has scoring, so we're going to play it this week on our leaderboards. It's a great game. You know, once you get used to using the elbow, it does allow you to get a lot further in the game. Look who we got coming in the chat. BiggyD's Arcade, great channel. Congratulations. I heard BiggyD is getting sent a Wonderland pinball to review. So kudos to you, BiggyD. Congratulations. I can't wait to hear your review and see what you honestly think of it. That being said, let me pull up my banner here so I can stay on task. Always need to make notes so I can so I don't skip things. Let's see, let me pull this up. Okay. And I got to take this off the screen. Yes, I saw he did a short and he was pulling it into his crib. So did I make a typo? I think it's 57 shows. It's the 57th episode of the Retro Legends Arcade. And wait a minute, this is not the right banner. Hold on, that's an old show. That's why. Wait a minute. Papa Brad, get it together. Most unprofessional YouTuber out there. Show 57. We went over the new games in the Retro Legends Arcade. I always start by shouting out the players because that's what I love to do. I love to play games. I love to see people playing games. We released Droids this week. We're going to play Droids. I played in VR, but you can play it on any platform. Double Dragon's just the classic arcade. We're going to do a tour of a bank that has arcade games in it. We're going to talk about Zen Pinball leaving platforms. We're going to do a spotlight on shooting the Rapids Deluxe. Going to talk about some AtGames news, including some scoops you're only going to see here. Very exciting. So we got a big show lined up. And excited for BiggyD and excited for new pinball is always good, you know. Pinball, love pinball, whether it's real pinball or digital pinball. I'm just a huge fan. I love playing pinball. So that being said, let's see. I had something I wanted to show on the Double Dragon Arcade. One more little clip. And then we're going to move to the next piece of news, which is the Zen. So let's just watch a little bit of this clip of this real quick. This is a little bit of history on Double Dragon. And there's a lot of hype around Double Dragon now because Iconic Arcade is getting it. But, you know, iArcade had it, and they took the time to get the slowdown perfect. And it was arcade accurate. I mean, I played Double Dragon at the Waybacks Arcade, and it was exactly the way they had it on the iArcade. And I know they made sure the slowdown was just right, so it felt authentic. That was, you know, iArcade, they cared a lot about the games. Also with iArcade, they had almost every game had a leaderboard. So if you like to play games and chase scores, it was a really great machine to have. The leaderboards were active. People were always playing. That was fun time. So let's take a look at short video I have on the history of Double Dragon. Where did I put it? Let's do the bank tour. We'll do the bank tour first. Let's go to the bank. Going to the bank.
What's up, everybody? It's Christopher J. Sick Hands RBN. Well, it's a Tuesday night here in New Jersey.
Okay, now first off, this is not the place you would expect to find an amazing arcade. Check that out. It is a full-size bank. Wait till you see the inside of this place. This video was shared with me from Mikey Yoon, so thank you. Link to the full video is in the description of this video. Check this out.
And if you've been following my socials for a while, good chance you know what that means. I'm back in Morristown once again, and I'm making my regular visit out to the Morristown Game Vault. Well, not just a visit. I'm actually running the weekly pinball tournament this week, which I usually do about once a month. But I've also got a new piece of tech with me tonight, an upgraded gimbal from DJI. And what better place to test it out than one of my favorite spots in North Jersey. Besides,
And that's what I use when I do my arcade tours. I have a gimbal. That's pretty much the main time I use it. But the gimbal, what it does is it steadies the camera, so you don't get that sensation of it bobbing while you're walking. It's really good for doing arcade tours.
we haven't posted an updated walkthrough since back in 2024. And since then, they've moved some stuff around and added a few new games. So let's head inside and take a look around. But before we go in, just a quick ask. If you enjoy this video and my other arcade tours, please consider liking this video, leaving a comment.
To this channel's in the description of the video. Be sure to subscribe. He's got some cool arcade tours. This channel does just nothing but it has a ton of arcade tours on it.
Subscribing for more content, or joining as a channel member for exclusive access to my videos as soon as they're uploaded. Every little bit helps this channel continue to grow, and we've got a lot of great stuff coming up over the next few months. Thanks! With all that said, it's been enough talk. Come on in.
I'll need a deposit slip, and I need to get some new checks. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? What? See, the guy knows what to do. He goes straight to the row of pinball, immediately to the pinballs. Because, you know, for us people that have great home arcades, we can play most of the arcade games at home, but you can't play all these great pinballs at home. I mean, this is why I go to free play arcades, mainly to play pinball, because my home arcade experience with arcades is so amazing anymore that the pinball is really the magic to me. But just look at this killer's row. I mean, you got Ghostbusters, Godzilla, Metallica, AC/DC, The Simpsons. I mean, this place is off the chain. Go back just a little bit. We have big news today is that World Cup Soccer is going to be leaving Zen Studios. And that's going to be the next thing we're going to talk about. But look, here's the real World Cup Soccer pinball machine. And even if you're not into soccer, it's just an amazing pinball game. I mean, even if it wasn't themed, it's just the game itself is what makes it so fun. There you have Theater of Magic. Great to see one of those on location. A lot of people, a few of these tables are so expensive that, you know, a lot of times you don't see them out on location to play. But Theater of Magic, Twilight Zone, and World Cup Soccer. They got a killer's row here of pinball. Let's check it out. It's Papa Brad's all-time favorite, Creature from the Black Lagoon, right by a pimped out Addams Family. Hey, what's up, Wingo? Wingo says his local arcade just got a Winchester Mystery House pinball. I might have to stick a crowbar in my wallet. Yep. World Cup Soccer has the same announcer as NBA Jam. Yeah, Tim Kittro. Yeah, absolutely. This is a dream row of pinball. I mean, I would spend a lot of time in this row for sure. You got Funhouse, another classic. Look at that Playboy back glass. Gorgar lives. You got some of the older school pinball tables there. These are the ones that I feel like AtGames is really paying tribute to with the EM Plus tables. They really have the feel of these old type pinball machines with some of the modern features, and I really like those tables a lot. That Snapple machine is fire. Getting me a Snapple. There's one you're not going to have at home. 3 steering wheels on that off-road. Got a Sinistar. Looks like it has the right joystick on it. 49-way joystick. Yeah, you can always tell when you look at it. It's got that giant joystick. It's unique to the machine. There's nothing like seeing a great arcade that really takes care of their machines. Like Wayback's Arcade is this way. They want everything as authentic as they can get it, and especially the controls. Controls got to be exactly the way they were in the real arcade. And we got some really great Taito games here. We got Jungle King. The great thing, we've played all these in the Retro Legends Arcade. You know, we don't just talk about the games, we actually play the games. We've played Jungle King. We've played Elevator Action. I mean, these games are all games that we have put up scores. And I think that's what's so cool, you know. You can go to a place like this and play the actual real machines. Yeah, they're in good shape. You could tell that this place is tip-top. Shout out to Space Invaders, the first arcade game I ever played. Talk about retro. I played Space Invaders in a Kmart, in the Kmart customer service, back when they did layaway. Crazy. That was the first game I ever put a quarter in, was the Space Invaders. Just like this machine sitting right here. Of course, you got Gorf. Got a Dragon's Lair. Got to have a Dragon's Lair. Indiana Jones. Got a nice little mini centipede. Check that out. Like Cabaret. Vertical screen, not a horizontal screen. Tucked away in the corner, Popeye. If you love these games, we've played every one of these games in the Retro Legends Arcade. You can drop scores right now in any of these games. All the leaderboards are still open. I've never seen one of those that kicks like that. That is crazy. Neo Geo. Let me turn this down a little bit here. Got a Neo Geo cab. Looks like it's got, what, 4 games on it? Return of the Jedi, Virtual Fighter 4, Karate Kid. This is a great tour. I love arcade tours. I still watch arcade tours all the time. I mean, every time I see a new arcade tour, I watch it because I love the games, you know. It brings you back. There's something special about like just seeing all the games in one spot. Yes, gimbal skills are good. It's not so easy. But you know, you got the gimbal does help if you do these kind of arcade tours. That's why I bought one. It's funny, they have a game where you try to break into the safe in the bank. That's pretty cool. Look at that. It's the vault. Man, it's the vault. Look at those vault doors. Oh, man, look what's in there. The Tron. Safe Cracker. It's probably the only place you could go to play a safe cracker in an actual safe. playing Safe Cracker in a safe. Satan's Hollow. That's a deep cut. I need to add this one to the Retro Legends Arcade. We have not played Make Tracks. Sometimes it's called Crush Roller. This is a cool game. Never got real popular. It was but it's a fun game. We should add this to the Retro Legends Arcade. I keep telling myself I need to add it. I have to make this one because it's not in iScored yet. Yes, I have played Safecracker. It is a fun table. Mm-hmm. There's a Battle Zone and a Tempest. I saw that arcade sign at Hobby Lobby. That's pretty funny. It's like the Hobby Lobby arcade sign. You know, I've never played a Dirty Harry pinball. This is one of those pinballs I always wanted to play, but I've never ran across one on location. Make my day, punk. What's on the other side? Oh, Earthshaker. Earthshaker is a good one. The whole machine vibrates. Got a shaker motor in it. The Game Vault. There we go. In the flesh. The real deal. There's Double Dragon. BiggggyD almost bought a Dirty Harry for $2,000. You got some Street Fighter, Rolling Thunder. Marble Madness, Millipede. The Baby Pac-Man. It's a combination pinball and a terrible arcade game that is not fun to play. A combination of a pinball and an arcade game. This game, every time I've seen it at a arcade show, they never make it more than one day before they're broken. I mean, the two of the shows I went to where they had this, it worked the first day for a few hours, and by the second day, it was non-functional. Operation Thunderbolt. That was a great game. It was on the iArcade. Could use Ascendant guns. A few weeks ago, we played Xevious in the Retro Legends Arcade. Every arcade's gonna have a Miss Pac-Man, gunfight, some old schools, ice cold beer. Look at that. Wow, a Star Wars sit-down. Atari Star Wars sit-down cabinet. Mr. Dew's Castle. Hubert, of course. I mean, it is just 2026, and we still don't have a Hubert. It's hard to believe that such an iconic arcade has never been brought home correctly. I mean, I want a Hubert. That's one of the ones that's on my Grail list. It's on my bucket list. I will dedicate a space for a good Hubert replica. I had the New Wave toys, but I actually played it and it broke. So I am in the market for another Hubert. I had one. It was a small one, but I would like maybe a 3/4 Hubert. Back to pinball. Daytona USA. Starting a row of Nintendos, the DK3, Donkey Kong Jr., and Donkey Kong. Frogger. Got a pole position. Sit down. Looking at footage from the game vault. Punch Out, Tetris, Spy Hunter. Autographed. Crystal Castles. They got it all at this place. Dig Dug. Tapper. We've played all these games in the Retro Legends Arcade. We've played Dig Dug and Tapper. Missile Command. Of course, you gotta have Pac-Man. Another Miss Pac-Man. And there's the bank. Got a life-size Iron Man. Fix-It Felix Jr. Defender. This must be Williams Row.
I'm actually running the weekly pinball tournament this week, which I usually...
Okay, so anyway, you can watch the rest of the video, but it's a great video. It just keeps going and going and going. But that was the arcade tour for the show. The Bank Arcade Tour. Pretty exciting. Let me check in with the chat here. Let's see. And let me pull up that Double Dragon video. I want to talk about the history of Double Dragon a little bit. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So a quick little clip I wanted to show of the history. Well, it kind of explains why Double Dragon is so popular. Story of Double Dragon. Here it is. There it is.
It all began with just one punch. Not in the movie, not in the comic book, but right there on the arcade screen. A girl stands alone on the city sidewalk, and then out of nowhere, a gang of rough-looking thugs show up. One of them steps forward and without warning, punches her square in the stomach. She falls, the gang grabs her, and disappears into the shadows. Sounds kind of spot on to what we just saw. Now, players at the time in the arcade didn't expect this. The scene felt raw and uncut. It felt real. This wasn't a cute platformer or a spaceship shooter. This was something else entirely. This was the opening to Double Dragon. And this game right here changed everything. Back in 1987, arcades were already filled with loud, colorful games, but Double Dragon...
So 1987 is when Double Dragon came out. Now remember, the revolutionary thing about this game is that it was 2 players at once. We had some really good fighting type kung fu games like Kung Fu Master, but this would introduce the element of 2 players at once. It was really kind of a blueprint or a founding start of beat-em-up games.
It was different. It was gritty, it was bold, and it introduced something totally new, the beat-em-up genre. A style of game where players walk through the streets and fight enemies using punches, kicks, and whatever weapons they could find along the way. Steel bats, knives, boxes, barrels. If you could pick it up, you could...
We are high score chasing this game this week. You notice you use that back punch all the time. That's how you get far in the game. You got to get good at doing that back fist. That elbow is how it's a good move in Double Dragon.
Use it. And here's the coolest part. You didn't have to do it alone. For the first time ever in a game like this, you could play side by side with a friend. 2 players shoulder to shoulder, throwing punches, dodging attacks, and fighting through waves of enemies together. So this wasn't just about high scores anymore. It was about survival, teamwork, and a little bit of style. The mission? Simple, but unforgettable. Rescue the girl. Now in this story, her name is Marion, and she gets kidnapped by a vicious gang called the Black Warriors. In the arcade, depends on which version you play. Now, originally you play as Spike and Hammer, twin martial artists with Fists of Fury and Hearts of Gold.
So they originally were Spike and Hammer. 1987 was peak arcade era, according to Wingo. I agree. 1987, there's still a lot of those arcades, you know, wasn't the golden age, but there was still a lot happening in arcades.
Later on, they become Billy and Jimmy in the console versions, but in arcade, it's strictly Spike and Hammer. And your goal, beat the game, save the girl, and survive the streets. But Double Dragon was more than just another arcade game. It was a cultural moment. It inspired dozens of clones, sequels, and spin-offs. It helped shape the look and feel of arcade games for years to come. And even today, nearly 40 years later, it still packs a punch. So how did it all come together? And what made it stand out? So stay with me, because this is the story of Double Dragon, the grandfather of beat-em-up games. Before the streets were filled with digital fists and flying kicks, video games were a lot simpler. Most of the games in arcades were about jumping over barrels, zapping aliens, or driving fast as you could. You had huge hits like Donkey Kong, you had Pac-Man, who ran through the mazes gobbling pellets and dodging ghosts. You also had Space Invaders, where players defended the Earth from rows of invading aliens. Now, as great as those games were, one thing was missing: a true street fight. And don't get me wrong, there were games that let you throw punches and kicks. In 1984, you had Kung Fu Master, which let you walk from left to right, beating up enemies floor by floor. And this game inspired many others with side-by-side platforming and actually got a home version. And in 1986, Technos Japan released Renegade, which added a more gritty urban feel.
I have a great, my Renegade video did really well on my channel. If you go back and look at my videos, Renegade was one of my higher performing videos. It did really good when I did a video on this game.
It was inspired by real-life street fights and gang movies. Renegade even let you move in multiple directions, which was a huge deal at the time. And Renegade in its own right was the American translation from the Japanese version, which definitely deserves its own video, the Kunio series. But anyway, there was a problem with all those great games. You were fighting alone. So the developers at Techno started thinking, what if you didn't have to fight by yourself? What if you had a friend you could team up with? You could help each other survive waves of enemies, take down the bosses together. I mean, it would be more exciting and feel more realistic. Not to mention the fact that it would make money twice as fast. You figure if you play by yourself, the other player has to wait until it's their turn to play. But if you're playing two at the same time, that's double the money if you're playing with another person. And that's how the idea for Double Dragon was born. Yoshihisa Kishimoto, one of the lead creators, wanted to go even bigger than Renegade. He loved American action movies, especially ones like The Warriors and Enter the Dragon. Now these films were packed with street fights, intense music, tough heroes, and big dramatic showdowns. Kishimoto didn't just want to make a game, he wanted to make an interactive movie. So in 1987, Double Dragon hit arcades, and it was a total game changer. For the first time ever,
Yeah, I mean, the game starts with the punch, you know, the punch of the girl. It's crazy. I mean, it really was a cinematic beat 'em up. It's brilliant, and it was 2-player. And you know, that was a cutting edge thing at the time.
players could walk side by side through a dangerous city, beating up thugs, using weapons, and helping each other survive. You could punch, kick, throw enemies, and even pick up bats, whips, and knives. It felt intense and it looked awesome at the time. And most importantly, beyond Double Dragon being so awesome,
okay, so I'm just gonna stop it there. But the link to this video is in the description of the stream. Check out the whole video. Subscribe to the channel. Fantastic channel that does a lot of arcade content. But you know, Double Dragon, it's just a masterpiece. It's just a classic beat 'em up game. You know, it's kind of clunky, you know, but that's the way it plays. The real machine. It needs to have slowdown to play accurately. So let me go to my topics. Let's get back on task. We talked about the bank arcade. We talked about the Double Dragon arcade game. Next thing we're going to talk about, and remove this from my stage to get some of my memory back. And let's look at what's going on with Zen Studios. Let's check this out. Let me pull this up. Let me share my screen. Important pinball updates. Share. There it is. Just make sure it's on the screen. You can see it. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Does it make it bigger? No, it just makes me disappear. Okay, so I'm just going to go with that. So we'll go with that. Important update, frequently asked questions. We received many questions about the future of certain pinball platforms after our important pinball updates announcement. Based on these questions, we made the following frequently asked questions. Will World Cup Soccer be playable after April 30th? Yes, if you purchase World Cup Soccer by April 30th in any of our games, the game table will be available for you. But after April 30th, let's say without interruptions. If I play Pinball Effects on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, can I still play my purchase tables and compete on the leaderboards? Absolutely. There will be no future releases on Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Bummer. Currently available tables will remain purchasable in the store except World Cup Soccer, which will be removed on April 30th. Online services such as leaderboards, tournaments, events will remain available. Only other change, season support will end on June 1st, meaning currently running Western season is the last one on these platforms. So no more seasons. It's kind of a bummer. I purchased the tables in Pinball Effects PlayStation 4. Can I play it on PlayStation 5? Yes. I purchased tables in Pinball Effects on Xbox One. Can I play on the Xbox Series control consoles? Yes. Which Pinball Effects platforms will be supported with new content? Here's the list. Future Pinball Effects releases will launch on Steam, Epic Games, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and Nintendo Switch. Now, the interesting thing is they do not say AtGames, but they do not say that AtGames has been canceled either. So it still leaves it in limbo, like, you know, as far as from their end. Are you planning to discount Pinball FX3 tables on Xbox before their removal? We aim to provide discounts on these titles, however, we can't confirm any sale. Well, they're getting rid of FX3. What a bummer. FX3 is great. What will happen to Pinball FX3 and its DLC on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch? Well, Pinball FX3 and its DLC will become hidden from the stores. You could still expand your table collection through the in-game shop. So if you purchase your tables, they'll stay on your machine. What will happen to Zen Pinball World? Zen Pinball World won't receive new content in the future. Its features and online services will remain unaffected, and the game will be renamed to Pinball FX Go. Application will remain available in the App Store and the Google Play Store. Why will Zen Pinball World be renamed to Pinball FX Go? Similarly to other games, we wanted to tie it to the Pinball Effects brand, streamline our communication. Can I still buy tables in Pinball World after it gets rebranded? Of course, you can buy games. Does any of the news affect Pinball Effects VR? No. Future pinball releases will also come to Pinball Effects VR. That is a very interesting post from Zen Studios. Hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Steven Schwarzentrooper, good to see you. Awesome guy. He has a life-size, he does a Star Wars droid like R2-D2 and was a huge fan of shmups. I remember you. I do miss the iArcade Fridays. We had a lot of fun when iArcade was around. It was a machine that was, the people that played it, they loved it. You know, it had a lot of leaderboards. The leaderboards were always active. And that was one of the best things about the iArcade. And so Zen Studios, let me go to my poll. I want to see how that's doing. Let me end it. Boom. Poll complete. Do you think more Zen Studio games will come to AtGames? 29% yes, 71% no. So, I mean, I think the big thing with this is the lack of communication is what's driving the AtGames people crazy, I think. You know, if you have an AtGames, you just want to know. I mean, even if they just said, gave us a list of a few games that are coming, you know, they're really not saying one way or the other. And that's the odd thing, I guess. So let's see. Let me check my my notes here. I was surprised. So pinball. So PlayStation 4 will no longer get new Zen titles. That's pretty crazy. I have a PS4 still, and I do like being able to buy games on the PS4, pinball games. That's a bummer. And it also makes you think, like, how is Zen doing? I mean, the last release they did was really just a reissue. It was just a repeat of something they had already done. And for me, it didn't get that high of a rating on VR because I felt like they really didn't, you know, they didn't tweak it enough. I felt like they could have done more. The DMDs look terrible in VR. So I guess we'll move to the next topic. Let's see. Okay, let's do some AtGames news real quick. Let's see. Let's start with this one here. We'll start with this one. Let's see. Did it switch? AtGames, of course, they do the Flipper Friends tournament. This week we have Season 2, Week 6. 3 games we'll be playing will be Supersonic, Shooting the Rapids, Deluxe. I'm going to do a spotlight on that game. And Circus 2017. Circus Remake, it's also, I believe, known as. This is the Flipper Friends schedule. We had some movement this week in the Flipper Friends. Papa Brad is in the top 10 players in the world at AtGames Pinball. And IFPA, I'm in number 10. The big news is Sacro went from 9th last week. This week, boom, Sacro moved up to 8th. Congratulations, Sacro. He's crawling his way up through the top. Good to see Sacro move up. I'm still holding on to my 10th place IFPA rating with AtGames, which is exciting. Other big news with the Flipper Friends. They're going to be dropping a Flipper Friends Junior League. And you've got Captain Flip as the mascot. And this is going to be a junior pinball league. Pretty exciting. This is something the IFPA does. And AtGames is going to do it, which is very exciting. And I do have something to show for that. So let me add that to the stage real quick and share that. Get a little scoop going here. Let's see, close that. How do I get this up? Let's see. Oh, I got to share it again. Share screen. Junior League. Okay. Flipper Friends Junior League. Future Flippers, this one's for you in partnership with the IFPA. AtGames is launching an all-new tournament series designed for young pinball players age 15 years and younger. You'll be able to play weekly featured tables, submit your best score, but you'll compete on a junior league leaderboard. You'll get dual ranking, so your scores will appear in the all-age rankings, so top performances get recognized across the entire player base. When you age out, your ranking moves with you. But you'll also be on a special, you can get on the junior ranking list too. Whether you're a young player or parent helping out, they're going to put out a Facebook poll. They'll have registration. If you want to play in the Flipper Friends Junior League, you have kids that want to play. Very exciting. It's great for families. And this is something the IFPA does. AtGames is excited to launch an all-new tournament series designed for young pinball players 15 years and under. Players under 15 compete for fun, young player, and family-friendly tables, including Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Police Patrol, Firefighter Wildlands, Dinosaur Dynasty, The Last Ice Age, and more. Works just like the Flipper Friends, but it's made for kids. They'll have the Junior League Leaderboard. And they'll have registration coming up. And most of this is on the Facebook as well for AtGames. Let me pull. Oh, what happened here? Hold on. Why this switched to something else? Let's see. What's up? Okay, let me go to this now. Let's see. Share this tab instead. Just make sure it's going to the StreamYards. Okay, make myself small here. Okay, and let's look at the other news. Usually Facebook is the best way to get news from AtGames. That's where they put stuff out. Here's the announcement on the Flipper Friends Junior League coming soon. And you just got the scoop of the inside information. You got Flipper Friends Season 2, Week 6 going on right now. We'll also be putting scores in our leaderboards for these 3 games. You've got, here's the official announcement from AtGames about Williams Pinball World Cup Soccer. Attention, 4K pinball players. Williams Pinball World Cup Soccer will be leaving the App Store X on April 30th due to licensing reasons. If you already have it, no problems. You keep playing. If you don't have it, it's the perfect time to add this classic table to your collection. So if you want World Cup Soccer, you need to get it now or it'll be gone forever. And then Woods Queen EM Plus, which we're familiar with. We played it last week. There was also an update. Here's what I like. The AtGames Originals and the Zaccaria tables, they're putting out updates, improving the games. You know, Zen has basically done close to nothing to the tables after releasing them. The only thing they did was add music to the Jurassic Park table. But there have not been a lot of patches for the Zen Pinball games on AtGames. Once they drop them, I mean, they pretty much don't get worked on again. At least from what I've seen. But the AtGames pinball games, the originals, they're working on. We're getting, this was an update for Firefighter Wildlands. They also have an update for Turtles coming out, which is pretty cool. Checking with the chat here. Okay. That being said, I've had a cold, so my voice is really struggling. I'm going to do a spotlight on the game that's in Flipper Friends this week. Let's take a look at the game Shooting the Rapids Deluxe. Let's check it out. And after that, I got a scoop to show you. Huge thank you to AtGames for sending me this product for review. Shooting the Rapids Deluxe takes the classic Shooting the Rapids table from 1979 to thrilling new heights, combining the nostalgic spirit of the original with modern enhancements and cutting-edge pinball action. Themed around Native American culture and canoeing adventures, paddle through roaring waters guided by the spirits of nature as you explore the sacred rivers and hidden trails. Conquer unique challenges like Rapid Combo, Spirit Rapids, and the mighty Echo of the Totem.
All save is activated.
Native Legends spring to life with features like Tomahawk Spin, Net Bonus, and Adrenaline-charged Indian Multi-Ball. This table fuses rich cultural motifs with fast-paced gameplay for an unforgettable ride down the rapids. Let's check out Shooting the Rapids.
Courage and wisdom will carry you through the rapids ahead. Are you ready, brave one?
I am ready. Let's take a look at this table. You start off with a beautiful back glass. It does have some bulb animation in it. Beautiful play field. I really like what they did with the art. Just gorgeous table. You can read the instruction card. Check that out. Very sharp. Shooting the Rapids. I like the knife down there. You have your modes. You have the Native Americans on the canoe in the center, braving the rapids. You go up to the top, you have the bear. Overall, I'd say graphically, this table is just fantastic. You did a great job with the artwork. Very sharp. This table is in 4K. You've got a lot of loops that you can do, which is fun. Does have a center post, something I do not like too much in the Magic Pixel games. Wish they would have skipped the center post in this one. There's the totem. Totems will pop out of the play field in one of the modes. You can see the slots where the totems will appear. Overall play field design is pretty cool. It does have a clear upper play field. Also has the new DMDs.
Courage and wisdom will carry you through the rapids ahead. Are you ready, brave one?
So let's take a look at the release notes from AtGames for Shooting the Rapids Deluxe, the Legend Single Pack. The most important things is your display resolution. This one is 1080 by 1920 for the HD and true 4K, 2160 by 3840, 4K for the Legends 4KP Pinball. The 4K average flipper latency is 44.87 milliseconds with a 9.43 millisecond standard deviation. Known issues: Shooting the Rapids Deluxe for Legends 4K is not compatible with the auto offline mode. And on the Legends HD, in-game leaderboard only displays online scores from HD devices. And those are the release notes. Let's take a look at the gameplay in action.
The river knows no fear. Only the brave will conquer.
The game's $7 for the 4KP version and $6 for the HD pinball version. One of the standouts to me of this table does have the new DMDs, which are themed a lot better to the table. It really does enhance the experience. I'm just going to show some of the artwork of the DMD so you can see what a beautiful job they did redoing the DMDs. So it really feels like they are listening to us at Magic Pixel, Zaccaria Pinball, and that's a good thing. I have to say that is a pleasant surprise. The lighting effects on the table are really pretty. The table itself has some hits and misses, in my opinion.
The river claims your canoe, but your spirit can return.
Just like Black Belt Deluxe, they did a really great job with the theming. The theming on this table is top notch. They really nailed the theme, in my opinion.
Ball saved. Your spirit remains
But
unbroken.
the latency is good with 44.87 milliseconds, and the table is in 4K, which is also a plus of this table.
Nice aim, sharpshooter. Good shot, brave one.
The game's rules are pretty simple to learn. It has a ball save. You get the bottom rollovers where the return lamps are located. They'll save the ball for 30 seconds. You can get a kickback by hitting the canoe lane 5 times.
Good shot.
The game has
brave
2
one.
play fields, including a second play field.
One is
That
lit.
made the play surface clear so it doesn't obstruct your view. They have a lot going on with this table. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's going on underneath that
The
second
river
play
gives you
field.
another chance.
Also, you have a really hard ball lock you have to get from multi-ball, which is, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's very hard for me to consistently get that multi-ball. Even when I have all the balls locked, to get it in that sinkhole you have to get it in to activate the multi-ball
Fearless spirit.
is really tough. So, to me, the multi-ball mode on this table is a fail. The Indian multi-ball, it's very tough to do. It is satisfying getting the balls locked up there with the bear, but not being able to start the multi-ball because of where the lock is
But the
very
heart of the
frustrating
journey
for me.
endures. Try again.
So I'm going to ding a little bit on that. There's a bunch of game modes you can do, including Arrow, Axe, Bear, Hawk, and Wolf. The most rewarding gameplay element of this table is just going through the loops
Nice
over and over
aim,
again. That's
sharpshooter.
pretty fun. And this is going to be a fun table to score chase for a week and really get to know this table.
Solid
But
hit,
my
fearless
initial
spirit.
impression of the gameplay on this table is going to be about an 8.5.
Triple combo.
Once again, big shout out for the integration of the theme, the
Nice
great
aim,
art.
sharpshooter.
But to me, the center post pulls it down, and just the overall flow of the game and the broken multi-ball system, they pushed it down.
Lock one is
Really
lit.
wanted to love this table, but for me, it's an 8.5. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel, smash that like button, and as always, stay legit.
Nasty weather got the little monsters uptight. Make it a blockbuster night. Blockbuster has something for everyone. Even the buttiest little beasts settle down to enjoy Blockbuster. I just love a family night. If the weather's a fright, make it a Blockbuster night.
All right. And let me just do some quick shout outs to players that played last week in Flipper Friends. Let me pull this up real quick. My overall rank last week was 12. Had some serious competition. It was tough. We had Mad Ben Hand number 1, Soggy Bacon, Tomato Grass, Wizards 626, 6-string pins, Sacro in 6th place, Cyril Pinball Wizard, Skull Joe, Retrotech X, Dennis B, me. And then let's just pull out. Wingo was in 18th. Ballydurn was in 16th. Good job, Ballydurn. Maximus Prime. And look, there's T. McCloskey, 29th. To be registered with the IFPA and get points, you're going to be in the top 50. Scroll way down here at the bottom. Barely scraping in. You got Chaotic BPR at 49th. So there you go. That was the rankings for the week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. That being said, let me get that off the screen. Games are live. Drop some scores in the leaderboards. Thanks for watching. And I will see you on the leaderboards. Take care. I need to give my voice a break.
Well, Papa Brad's a game man. He's got passion in his soul. From pinball tables to Atari, he's always in control. He's a master of retrogaming, the old school style's his thing. With every flick of the joystick, you can hear the twang ting. Stay legit, Papa Brad, keep the high school living. From the classic arcades to the AtGames pinball board, with the Atari 2600, your love for games will never quit. Stay true yourself, Papa Brad, and always stay legit. He's a lover of the classics, the sound of pixelated beats. Late nights at the arcade with every game defeat. But he'll keep on pushing till he's reached that final stage. Papa Brad's the gaming legend, his passion never fades. Stay legit, Papa Brad, keep the high school rolling. From the classic arcades to the AtGames pinball board, with the Atari 2600, your love for games will never quit. Stay true yourself, Papa Brad, and always stay legit.